Which brings me to my first thing that irritates me. I hate it when people call you and then ask you who you are.
I must to dance with you tonight. Don't forget it, don't be shy. You cross my eye and I feel you. All my men, you don't demand you. Feel the vibe, feel the lamba. Feel the music, dance the samba. Let me know what you wanna do. Cause my feelings for you is true. Baby girl, you're my baby boo. Spend the rest of my life with you. Don't let me Fatima though. County though. Tell me where you want to go. Baby girl, I want to know.
Hello. Veggie Crunch Bites here. And welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about 5 things that irritate me. Hold on a second. Hello?
Yeah, hello? Who this?
You called me. Anyway. Which brings me to my first thing that irritates me. I hate it when people call you and then ask you who you are. Like, didn't you call me? You have to identify yourself. Anyways, number 2. The second thing that irritates me is when somebody knows you're behind them, they see you there, they know you're there. So instead of being courteous and holding the door for you, nope. They purposely let the door close right in your face. Sometimes I make a comment, I'll say like, oh wow, it's so rude. Or I'll say like, oh wow, that was so nice. I'll say something like sarcastic. But most of the time, I just look at the person like, you really couldn't just open the door. It doesn't take any effort or that much time to just let your hand out and just push the door slightly. You don't have to sit there and wait for me to pass all the way through. But you could push it lightly so I can get through instead of letting the door close in my face. Number 3. The third thing that irritates me is when you have somebody over and they leave their cups, their garbage, or their plates or whatever out sitting on the table or on the couch or on the floor, just leaving trash around. It's like, did it look like this when you got here? No. So leave people's places the way you found it. Like if it was clean and neat when you got here, it should look the same way when you leave out. I just feel like it's rude, it's disrespectful, and I feel like that person just doesn't have any proper house training and they just don't respect you and your living space. Because if you did, you wouldn't leave your crap around my house. I just don't like that. I think that was number 3. Number 4 is people who lie for no reason. And it could be something that you didn't even ask about. We could be talking about coffee and they'd be like, oh yeah, well, I'm a millionaire with a business. And I'm like, okay, I didn't ask you about that, but I guess. And then when you ask them further, like details, because you know the devil's in the details, they start getting defensive, like, oh, why you asking so many questions and what, you don't believe me? And it's like, if you offered this information, why are you so defensive about it? You know what I mean? That's the thing I don't understand about people who lie for no reason. It's like, you lied, but you didn't have a plan for this lie. It's like you didn't have context and a backstory to this because. soon as someone starts digging for further details, they're going to start finding the holes in this lie and figure out that you're lying and that you're not telling the truth. And it's like, I never understood people who lie for no reason. It's like, that's random and nice to know, but I didn't ask about that and I don't care about that. But I guess thank you for mentioning it. And number 5, the 5th and final thing that irritates me is repeating myself. And I don't have a problem, like, if you're hard of hearing or if you honestly didn't hear what I said. But if it's like every single conversation, all the time, 3 or 5, multiple times, I have to repeat the same thing over and over again. Or if I tell you don't do something and you do it anyway. Or I tell you a fact like, okay, today we're going to go to Walgreens, CVS, and Marshall's. And then 5 minutes later, so where we going? First we're going to Walgreens, CVS, then Marshall's. Then 10 minutes later, okay, we just left Walgreens, where we going next? Okay, I told you once. I told you twice. At this point, I'm either going to ignore you or just be like, well, I don't know where we're going. I guess you have to wait and see. Like, that's just one example of hating to repeat myself. Another example that I hate repeating myself is if I'm talking to somebody and I'm like having a long sentence, like it's not a back and forth and I'm just talking, and then they interrupt you and say, huh? I sit and wait. And then they respond. So it's like, you did hear what I said. I hate when I say something and they say huh and interrupt what I'm saying. And then they end up responding to that thing that they didn't hear. And it's like, so I paused and I waited for you. So you really did hear what I said because you just responded and I didn't repeat it. That's my second instance of like hating to repeat myself. Another instance I hate when I repeat myself is if we're like texting and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Can we go out later? And we're like, yeah, we can go out later. And then they keep continuing with the conversation. I say, so what are you doing? And they still don't respond. They respond to everything else in the message, but that one thing you're asking, so you ask 3-4 times. And they're still not responding to that one thing you want them to answer. And it's like, I hate having to keep asking the same question. Like, you answer everything else in that message, but the one thing I really want to know. And it's like, how are you seeing all this, but missing that one message? And like, yeah, once I can see you overlooking it. Twice, overlooking it. But third, it's like, I don't know what to think. So this is a video of the 5 things that irritate me. If you can relate to some of the things that irritate you as well, please leave them down in the comment section below. I do respond. If you're looking for longer videos, I do offer custom content. You can find my business email down in the description box below. If you're looking to cop my merch, that could be my soccer jerseys, t-shirts, hats, jewelry. I also do things for teeth. You can find my business Instagram down in the description box below. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next YouTube video. Bye.